welcome to Unapologists Geek Out, the UGO podcast. Oh my god, I am so excited for today, Travis.
As you usually are.
I am, well, I mean, one of these days I'll probably come up on here and be like, I'm just not feeling it today, guys. I mean, life is pointless. It's a vast void.
That's what I take over.
Nothing means anything anymore. But that's not today. Today is, of course, another great interview show today. We have the folks over at the Geekset Radio podcast. Or is it Geekset Podcast? I forget the exact name now that I am not looking at it. Come on, notes. You are failing me. Stupid notes.
No object permanence there?
But who is having trouble with their reading lessons today? Why, it's me, Nick, the Merc with a mic, and my fellow unapologist,
Travis,
the god of the pod himself, who does not need to read. It has been decreed by him, so it's helpful. But yes, before we have the interview, we have, of course, the trailer talk for today. Got some big trailers. We didn't talk about Infinity War last week, so we got to talk about that.
We're slacking.
I mean, and we got a couple more after that as well, so stay tuned. And, of course, we have the Geek News. We're going to bring on Justin in a minute to go over that geeky news with us for the week. And, of course, we just want to catch up and see how we're doing. But, of course, we also wanted to let you lovely people know exactly what we are doing later in this month, or later in next month, I should say, because the first weekend in April, we will be at Anime Detour.
Yay!
And we might have a booth there.
Yay?
I don't know, Travis. I got this email, like, seriously yesterday that was like, hey, we finally got the layout figured out for Anime Detour, so in the next couple days, we'll be able to email everybody back, see if you guys got in. And I'm like, you realize it's like a week and a half, like 2 weeks before the fucking
We're like
thing?
at the end of March here, guys.
So hopefully no one on of the Anime Detour staff listens to this, but what the fuck? Because I'll tell you what right now, Travis, when we interact with them there and when I interact with them on email, it's going to be very like, you know what, don't worry about it at all, man.
Pleasant smiles and everything.
Pleasant smiles, and I'm like, I'm just glad to be here and glad to work. But on the inside, oh my god.
And you know when I have to listen to it.
I'm so, look, okay, so now that we are doing this on a semi-regular professional basis.
Somewhat.
Look,
this has been bad enough when we were just running panels out of our pocket money.
Mm-hmm. So lucky enough that we're going to have earbuds and some of our other merch
but
here.
Probably not the shirts, right?
In time for... No, because the shirts, I thought we were going to have enough time to do them for even the convention beforehand. So... yeah, the shirts are going to be a no-go for, like, our first two conventions as well. So that is unbelievably frustrating because I wanted to wait for some of our other cool designs before I threw out shirts. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have cool designs in, like, a couple weeks, and we don't have any conventions we're going to be, we'll have the booths at until then anyway. So, like, why don't I just wait and then slap, like, with the cool designs rather than just our logo? And I'm just like, motherfucker.
Like, I think what we need is we're going to need like a giant whiteboard with all the conventions we're going to named and like an X on whether or not we're going to get a booth or just panels there, and then date it for when it happens. Like when we get the email confirming it, so we just go back and look at it like, okay, so they fucked us over and they fucked us over. These guys are cool.
Yeah, so that was... oh boy. Yeah, so I am excited to be going to Anime Detour because we are going to be running...
Minneapolis, right?
That one's in Minneapolis. We'll be there. We're going to be running panels, like a lot of panels, like more panels than I want to run than if we would run a booth, but we will figure it out.
Okay.
You know, it's fine. It is good if we do get a booth. It's better presence if we get it. It actually is it would be a fortuitous turn of events if we get a booth there, and I will be grateful. It's just a little frustrating to try and plan everything around that last minute.
Time to gather around my connection of family members that live in the area.
It's just a completely different experience if we're getting a booth or if we're going there just to run panels. It's a completely different convention experience for us. Mm-hmm. So the more time we have to prep for that, the better. So I'm just a little little frustrated, but it's fine. Well, I'm sure the Anime Detour people told us as soon as they could. I'm sure that...
Oh, so we're pretending they're listening now. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we'll pretend that they're listening. I mean, we were nice to some of the other people that kind of fucked us over. GeekCon. But we will...
Is that what our nice is? Wow, I don't want to see us mean.
We are masters in the passive aggressive. Okay, so with that out of the way, we're also going to be at the Midwest Gaming Classic the week after as well. So the dates on that are the 13th through the 15th, and the dates for Anime Detour will be the 6th to the 8th. And that will be our conventions for April. And we'll let you know on some of the other future conventions as we get accepted and as we are doing stuff, although we are probably most likely doing ASIN. That is pretty much for sure at this point.
It's all a matter of what we're doing there.
But we'll let you know once we're confirmed on what exactly we're doing. But yeah, I think we can get to the how we doing segment. Travis, how we doing?
Well, I just got a slight vindication through my parents.
Cool.
So, last couple of years of living with them, I kept complaining during summertime that I kept hearing like a buzzing noise. And they're like, they come into my room, like, I don't hear anything. There's nothing here. I'm like, no, I swear there's a fucking buzzing noise. Mm-hmm. So, just like half an hour ago, I get a picture or message from my mother saying, so this was the buzzing in your room, and I'm just going to show you a picture there, Nick.
What is that?
Well, that's basically what I told my mother, too. I'm like, that's great. I told you so. Also, what am I looking at? I have, like, nothing to size for scale. So my mother sent me another lovely picture.
Sweet Jesus, what is that?
That would be a wasp hive that was apparently in my room. My mother has what looks to be about a 12-ounce bottle next to it, and it's as tall and long as the bottle.
Holy Christ.
Yeah. So, ha! I told you so.
I knew these bee stings were coming out of nowhere. Aha!
Well, the weird thing is I never actually saw anything. I only ever heard a buzzing, like, in my walls. I'm like, this is very annoying, and I'm kind of concerned, what is this? But never did anything about it until apparently now.
Wow, okay.
So, yes, vindication. I'm very proud of myself.
I'm glad you were able to look in the positive of that rather than just realizing unbelievable fear of, like...
I don't fucking live there.
I don't live there anymore.
It's their problem. It's funny, too, because I can even tell by the picture that it's, like, plastic wrapped.
Oh, boy.
So how about you?
Well, I had to do a funeral last weekend. I went to my grandmother's funeral. So that was interesting. Was this the grandmother that your family was divided on, or divided on? Yeah.
Okay.
It was interesting to say the least. Where we were all together for probably the first time in a while ever since Grandma got sick. We were all kind of there was a big rift that was going on between family members. So it's interesting to see a full funeral service since we didn't do that for my dad. We did the whole, casket into the grave, the grave thing. I don't think I've actually ever done that. Every funeral I've gone to, the person's either been cremated or the service has been, it wasn't a church service or whatnot.
It's a very lengthy process.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not true. I think I have an uncle that it was a church service, but we didn't watch him go in the funeral, into the funeral grounds, I don't think. And yeah, the open casket thing, I'm pretty sure that is like, yeah, I'm not going for any kind of open casket.
No?
I've seen it like 3 times now, and I'm kind of like, ugh. Yeah, I'm not going to look anything like I did when I was alive anyway. So might as well not spend like extra thousands of dollars to try and make me look kind of like I did in life.
That's fair.
But yeah, the priest also made the comment in the beginning too, which I'm not sure if he knew what was going on, because he mentioned how he was visiting like Grandma Ruth, and it was a pleasure to visit her. She was an extraordinary woman of faith, and I'm like, did you visit her in the last 2 to 3 weeks she was alive? Because she had a very different view on religion in the last couple of weeks of her life. I think my mom quoted her as saying, there is no heaven. Everything, it's just a black void. So yeah, and I get you don't want to say that in a funeral setting because it's a little depressing.
Priests say what they want to say.
So, but yeah, again, he could have just said like he could have said like anything else. So I was just gonna like, because I know that like a lot of people visited Grandma in their last couple of weeks. So I'm like, yeah, there's like 15 to 20 people in here that knows that last statement was bullshit. But I guess we're all just gonna buy it.
Well, it's religion. You have to put on the rose-tinted glasses or it all falls apart.
Yeah. Mom was not very into the service from what I heard from her, but it was kind of a rough day for her as well. But yeah, overall it was it was a interesting experience. I did meet a new hero of mine, which is my great uncle Phil. I have not met this great uncle before. And once I started talking to him, I kind of realized why. Because any story that starts with, in my day, men were men and women were women, and I was kind of like, oh my god, this man is amazing. Me and Jake and Danny were talking to him for a good 30 minutes, and it was fucking awesome. Like, he turned to me and Jake and he said like, okay, advice on your wedding day, guys, is that you go to when you go to on your wedding day, you take off your pants. And I'm like, I'm not sure if I need this level of advice for my wedding day. I mean, I don't know if like where this is going. Like, no, you take your pants off and you give her your pants and you say like, hey, why don't you put these on? And then she'll go, they don't fit, and he goes, yeah, and then your response will be, remember that. And I'm kind of like, wow, what a baller move, Phil. That is a alpha dog move. I actually kind of respect it on a hugely misogynistic level.
It takes sexism to a degree that's almost impressive.
That's a power play if I've ever heard one. That is psychological warfare to the point. And Danny was having less fun than me and Jake, to be fair.
Being a girl, yes.
She was having fun too, but she asked him like, because he was talking like, I've never loaded a dish. I've never loaded a load of dishes in the dishwasher. I've never done a load of laundry in my life. And she's like, well, what happens when your wife is gone then? And he comes back, doesn't miss a beat, Travis. He goes, I think I'll look for a 30-year-old.
What?
This guy, Travis, I'm telling you, this guy was fucking amazing. I was having so much fun.
Oh my
god. He was trying to set up Danny with his one of his grandsons, which I don't know if you guys are keeping track at home, but this is our great uncle. So that would make I guess that's third cousins.
Is it third?
I think it's a third. I don't know. Someone mentioned to me what exactly the relationship would be, but
not far enough to be not creepy.
I mean, we were making fun of Danny too. Like, well, you probably wouldn't have lizard babies that far removed.
They might have buck teeth or something, but
you might need to go to a special school. But
it'll probably turn out fine.
So, and then he has this crazy picture of his grandson on his phone, which is just one of those Paul Ryan gym weight curlers where he's got his shirt off, and it's like, why does a grandparent have that in their phone? Like, why does he have like a Tinder state selfie on his phone? It's fucking weird. And so he was talking like, and here's my son. Like, look at him, isn't he handsome? And of course, I come over. I'm like, yeah, he is. I mean, Danny, if you ain't interested, maybe could I get his number? And Mom goes to me like, are you teasing? And I'm like, a little bit. He was good looking. And come on, I couldn't resist.
Obviously not.
Phil did not find that very funny.
Shocking.
I know. I thought he'd have a good humor about it.
The impressively sexist man didn't enjoy a homosexual joke.
I tried to get Phil on Twitter. I tried to get him a Twitter handle, because apparently he is not on Twitter or any social media. And I'm like, Phil, that's a travesty. You need to share your wisdom with the world.
I feel like he would just start following Trump.
Oh my god, that was the most fun I've ever had at a funeral. Hands down, it was great. Thank you so much, Phil.
God, hope he's never listening to this.
I mean, I doubt
It'd be almost impossible.
It would be next if we get an email like later from Phil and it's like, hey, I was trying to pass you down wisdom, my friend. You know what, Phil? If you're listening, we will have you on the podcast.
Oh God,
that is my guarantee.
That is an interview you can go in on.
Come on, my friend. We will do it. Oh my God,
that'd be an extra special episode. That would also probably end in a funeral for somebody.
Holy shit. Oh, so good. All right. With that, have we been watching anything recently? Or
we're still trying to get caught up on Jessica Jones. You don't do the water rant again?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
you do.
I do want to do the water rant. I was talking about this. I should mention I was on the Vibration podcast again last night, and we mentioned this a little bit too as well. Check out the Vibration podcast on Triple Cup Chuck's video YouTube channel.
I feel like you just strung words together there.
It is a mouthful, but you know what? Well, you'll figure it out. So there's a point in, I want to say episode 5 of Jessica Jones. I can't remember specifically.
Something around there.
But yeah, Jessica is in an aquarium and the aquarium gets busted open and it cuts to credit on that last episode. And then the next episode you're like, oh shit, she's going to have to like save people from the aquarium or fight an octopus or, I don't know, do something superhero-y. And no, she just runs out of the aquarium and I'm kind of like, oh, she must have just run out of there and not even, like, with her super speed and not even gotten wet or anything, because she's not, like, she comes out bone dry. Mm-hmm. And so she's trying to find trying to find the people that are leaving, and they get into a car. And not only am I like, can't you just, like, jump in front of the car? Like, I feel like they forget about Jessica's superpowers every once in a while.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it's like, oh, they're getting away. And I'm like, in New York? On the street, you can definitely catch up to a car. You can literally
walk past them.
You could definitely catch up to a car. I mean, I don't know what time of day it is, but just outrun them for a couple, like, just keep up with them for a couple of minutes. I'm sure they will hit traffic. But yeah, not even that. She's going to try and take a picture of the license plate with her phone. Mm-hmm. And her brings out her phone, and her phone is dead because it's all wet. Her phone is soaked. And I'm kind of like, what? Mm-hmm. But you're not wet.
Like, at all.
Like, at all. Your hair isn't even wet. Bitch, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is ridiculous. And, yeah, she has to buy a bag of rice and dry out her phone, and then she takes a shower like she did get wet. Like, oh, I'm all grimy from that aquarium water. Like, no! You were 100% dry.
Like, I keep wanting to, like, go back to this episode and be like, is there like an after credit stinger we missed or something to explain this?
What the it's baffling to me that they didn't even try.
Yeah, it's pretty off-putting, actually.
How expensive is a bucket of water to drench her in before you do the take? What is going on? Was it cold on the set of that day? What is happening? Like, her leather jacket isn't even wet. Like, or, I don't know, did she only get wet ankle up and she was keeping her phone? Like, no, she wasn't keeping her phone in her ankle. We saw her take it out of her fucking leather jacket. She would have to be wet up at least until the waist. Ugh, what is going on?
It's a bit of a shoddy little workmanship there.
That was bullshit. I'll tell you that right now. That annoyed the shit out of me for that entire episode. Mm-hmm. I was like, guys, come on. Like, that was Babytown frolics for continuity. That was...
And it's such a weird cut, too, because, like, the final scene of, like, I think it's episode 5, actually, it shows, like, the aquarium glass cracking, and then it cuts out. And the next scene is literally her, like, just walking out, and, like, there's no other crowd of people escaping. There's nothing. It's just her walking. She could have exited out of, like, any random building. You wouldn't have known the difference.
They might as well have had two characters go like, man, it was weird getting out of that aquarium when it busted open. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely dangerous. A real exciting scene. Hopefully we shot that so that people can see that scene. I fought a shark. It was real cool. It's like, why even set that up if you're not going to pay it off in any way? Like, ugh. And I get that it's a budgetary thing, But still, if you're not going to show it, at least have her wet when she runs out.
Yeah, water's pretty cheap. It's very prevalent.
Like this is what I get. Why I know that Kevin Feige and some of the movie people are not talking to the TV people because they're way better about the continuity of.
This isn't even a matter of continuity in between shows. This is like continuity in between episodes,
between shots of what the fuck is going on. So that drove me nuts. But overall, I'm actually really enjoying this season.
Yeah.
I hear it gets slower in the later half, and we are only halfway through. But what I've seen so far, it's some pretty interesting shit going down. Trish is being real stupid. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be down with with Trish's whole thing. But I'm digging Malcolm. Hogarth, I'm a little up in the air about.
She's just kind of reverting back to what she did in season 1. So
she goes from cliche, stereotypical like lawyer thing to kind of interesting. I don't know. I keep going back and forth on her of what like where or not her character is going to fall. But you know what, Travis? I do believe it is time for the news, and we
how to summon our news wizard.
We have been light on the news the last couple of weeks because I've been over to the Breakfast Pub doing that for the last couple, and you know I've never wanted to like do it twice over on the podcast, record it twice. I'm like, I wouldn't be as fresh, and it wouldn't be as it wouldn't be as funny like
That's
the second time around. I like keeping it spontaneous. You know me. So we do have our news correspondent back though. So we're gonna go to This Just In with Justin.
You have summoned me. What is
Justin,
your wish?
how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Today's been busy. I'm back. Life has resumed after spring break. So
I would say it's been a while, but not for me since I've been recording for you the last couple of weeks. But it's been a while since our audience has heard you.
I said hi to him last week.
Yeah,
yeah. Which, by the way, people go listen to the Breakfast Pub. It's super super fun. We had Nick, Shaq, and Ian Butcher, who I believe you'll have on at some point soon, all recording at the same time, and that was crazy fun. So.
It was great. I had a fantastic time. Always enjoy the Breakfast Pub, and I feel like at some point we're gonna have like 10 people on there, and it's gonna be like, oh, it really is an old Leog.
Yeah, so it just turns into the Breakfast Leog. That's what it'll be.
Breakfast Leog.
And also, I just get back at you for calling out my white guy voice this last week. You're much whiter than me, man. Come on.
It's true, you are
yes,
very white.
Like physically very whiter, but when we're on the recording, no one can tell that because I got soul, Justin.
Yep. Apparently, you've been adopted. You got your black card with Shaq there, so something.
Card. Wow, go around saying that. That sounds weird.
It does.
Sounds a little weird.
Anyway. So, are we going to start now? There we go.
Yeah, what's in the newscast for the week other than my honorary black card? Like, what's the news for our geeky news segment?
Well, this incredibly white guy is going to tell you about the story, especially talking about people with apparently black cards. Quentin Tarantino doing that Star Trek movie that's coming out. And there's been some debate on, because he originally pitched it as an R-rated Star Trek film, but Simon Pegg is pretty much saying, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. And I'm not shocked. It's like, seriously, as much as people would think they'd want that, do people actually want an R-rated Star Trek?
Star Trek,
I wouldn't mind Worf saying the N-word a couple times.
Jeez.
I feel like that could be kind of fun.
Well, it's not his race, so it's not his problem, right?
Does this look like a dead Klingon house? Do I look like dead Klingon storage to you?
What's the Klingon equivalent of the N-word? I can't imagine.
There's probably
something very violent. Their language is very aggressive.
Oh yeah. Apparently, there's been a story circulating, and I'm not sure exactly how true it is, but it sounds pretty certain that Chris Evans is saying after Avengers 4 he's done. So
okay. Well, I mean, his contract is up. He was talking about not doing it for a while before that, so that does make sense to me.
Yeah, and he has
and they
other
basically
stuff
set it up. They have set it up to where he has 2 replacements on hand for Captain America.
So now the question is which one they're going to go with, because I mean, people like both. Like, you know,
yeah, I know, and I like them both too.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, Justin?
I don't know. I mean, they're apparently working really hard to redeem Bucky to make him a good guy. So that seems like the logical step based on the way the character's progressing. But then the Falcon is currently Captain America in the comics, right?
Right, he is the current Captain America right now in the comics.
So it depends on if they want to do the whole, are they trying to please the black audience, the white audience, the certain comic book fans? We don't know. It's so question mark. Maybe they'll have two Captain Americas.
I think with Disney, it's probably going to be whoever will allow their contract to go the longest.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's also a good question, too. I don't know anything about Anthony Mackie or, what's his name, Winter Soldier's contract, Sebastian Shaw.
Stan. Shaw is the
Sebastian
X-Men
Stan,
guy.
That's right. Shaw is the fucking bad guy from X-Men.
Completely different
I don't think Kevin Bacon's going to play Captain America.
Kevin Bacon. That's what they should get for Captain America.
The smarmiest Captain America ever.
Yeah, I guess I would lean towards... I imagine they would do Bucky, because that would be easier to pull off, and he does come chronologically first in the replacement Captain Americas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it actually is very up in the air. I wouldn't put 100% on that's what they're going to go with.
Yeah, so we'll see, but that sounds like what's going to be. Also, speaking of Infinity War, it's going to be the longest Marvel Cinematic Universe movie yet at 156 minutes.
Oh boy.
My goodness.
So that's what? That's an hour and 36 minutes. No, 2 hours and 36 minutes. Sorry.
God damn.
So time your bathroom breaks well, everybody.
Now consider that 10 of those minutes will probably be credits by themselves, so.
True.
Mm-hmm. And whatever the 7 stingers are.
Please not 7. Like, that was the thing that killed, like, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was already kind of sucking it for me as it was. And then to have 7 stinger scenes that only maybe one of them was really that good. I'm just like, okay.
I like the Groot one.
That was like the one funny one, really. The other ones are just kind of like, okay, Sylvester Stallone. We really needed to see more of that character, huh?
Well, they were the original. You know what? I'm not getting into it. They were the original Ravagers, though.
Oh no, I get
that,
cool. But I'm just
as a stinger, just.
You don't like Miley Cyrus as a robot?
Oh, was that Miley Cyrus?
Yeah, it was her head, and that was talking in the robot head for like a half second.
Okay, I didn't even recognize that. Wow.
I forget what her name is. Like, well, she only has like one line.
Okay. Let's see. They did some replacement casting on Captain Marvel. It originally was going to be DeWanda Weiss from She's Gotta Have It, but there's some scheduling conflicts. So another actress named Lashana Lynch, who was in Starcrossed, that Shonda Rhimes show that got canceled after one season, she's going to play the new character. I'm not sure. Apparently it's a best friend character or one of those kind of things, but yeah, just last-minute casting replacement of Captain Marvel. So, okay.
Okay. I'm not familiar enough with Captain Marvel's pantheon to know who that character is.
I'm not familiar with either of these two actresses enough to care. So I'm just like, okay, I'm sure she's great. Speaking of Black Panther, woo! It is the first movie since Avatar to top the U.S. box office for 5 weeks straight.
Dang.
Woo, indeed. Step into the spotlight. I think that this is really cool for just a great phenomenon that, of course, is going to be like the highest grossing Marvel movie until Infinity War comes out. But
we'll see about that one.
So is it actually the highest grossing? Because Avengers, I know, was pretty up there. So is this one actually past it by now?
I think I saw the news story that it did pass Avengers recently.
Okay,
that's impressive.
I could be wrong about that, but yeah, it seems like as of right now, it is the most financially successful Marvel movie. Or, I mean, I think it passed what Avengers was at this point as well. I forget what the news story is, but it looks like it's gonna be the most highest grossing by the time it's running the box office is done.
Yeah. I mean, we're setting such a high bar for opening box offices now. It's like, so a movie to be able to be considered a hit will have to open with like $200 million on its opening weekend to be considered a hit in the future, right?
Mm-hmm. Something like that, yeah.
Well, I mean, Disney is the one that keeps competing with itself.
True. Yeah, seriously. Oh, boy. Anyway, more random casting news. A guy named Jay Ali, who you may recognize from the show The Fosters, has joined Daredevil Season 3 as a supposedly major character named Rahul Ray Nadeem, who is an FBI agent who will be a major player in Daredevil Season 3. So, that's cool.
Okay, cool. I am looking forward to Daredevil. With its, I know they're doing the Born Again storyline. So
well, because they introduced his mother, right? At least they hinted at it in the Defenders.
Yes, that's what the general consensus is going in, is that's going to deal with that arc.
Okay, cool. Hey, please be good. That's all I say. Just please be good.
No more hand.
Yeah,
please, no more
ninjas. So Constantine, apparently, if Legends of Tomorrow will be renewed for a 4th season, he will be a series regular for that season.
Wow, I'll tell you what, I'm really excited to hear that because I really did like his episode with him on it, and I've been really digging Legends of Tomorrow this season.
I hear it's really good. Yeah, they've actually been getting better.
Well, yeah, they turned the skid into full stupid, and like they're finally using Neil McDonough to his full extent of where he just spent a previous episode fighting himself.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, which was pretty good.
Hey, it's like we said, Neil McDonough's a talented guy. You got to give him stuff to do, you know?
You gotta give him something big to go for. You gotta give him something to work with. He is not. I mean, he is a good subtle actor as well. But if you give him the time to shine and to give him a little room to breathe, he's a great screen presence. So I don't understand why more people don't do like this with his character, with his character work. But I mean, it could just be that anything is better than Arrow this season.
You've been complaining about that for Arrow for the last 3 seasons.
You know what? I'm going to tell you what right now. I'm going to put it on hold, Justin, because I just had vindication from Edwin. You know Ed, where we do the reviews with him. He just started to catch up with Arrow, and he's been sending me messages of what I've been yelling about the whole last couple episodes here. He's like, dude, 2 back, and I just have to laugh through the pain, LOL. And it's like, what was it? He was talking about the 2 teams. Wow, episode 3 was even worse than the last 2. I'm so glad I have 3 more to go until I'm caught up.
This is why I'm not following the CW shows for the most part. So.
Yeah.
Also, the Society of Sidekicks' butthurt attitude is super annoying. Ray can't stand to be in the same room as anyone. I swear Curtis smirked when he got to tell Oliver, haha, we have secrets now too. How does that feel? And Diana is just moody as fuck.
I've heard about what that was, like the plot developments there, and that sounds ludicrously dumb. So
it's so fucking stupid. It's... Oh, we're going to split apart the team. We're not working together, except for every episode where we're working together. So it's a functionally pointless storyline. I really can't believe that someone put this gibberish to pen and paper.
I can.
It's ridiculous.
It's the CW.
Oh boy.
Oh, you can't kill anybody, Dinah. You shouldn't kill anybody. And then the other 2 teammates are helping her in their attempt to murder up until Mr. Terrific is like, murder is wrong. And he's like, you know what? You're right. Thanks for talking me out of it, Curtis. What about Oliver? He just was spending the last 3 episodes telling you the exact same thing, except you were an asshole about it. And it's like, no, but Curtis said it in a nice way. Fuck these people.
I kind of had a situation like that with helping a fellow classmate with a paper where I told them a whole bunch of things I had an issue with their script that they were writing, but they're like, nah, it's fine. And then the teacher told them the exact same thing. They're like, okay, yeah, maybe you got a good point. I'm like, what? Fuck you.
Yeah, and it's like that every episode, and it's like, and you're supposed to like these people. Like that's what the episode is supposed to be set up to you. So you're supposed to like them and feel sympathetic for them. I'm like, no, they're babies. They're just whiny babies, and I hate watching them. Ugh.
Yeah, well, anyways, going from there, the Moroni crime family will be featured in Titans, the TV show, so they're pretty much bringing up, whatever they can into this first season.
Cool. Moroni crime family being a big crime family in Gotham, and the Batman storyline.
They have to one-up, what's his name, the guy in Gotham, yeah.
Yeah, oh shit, he was on Dexter.
Yeah.
Damn it, I forget the guy's... Yes, yeah, the guy who played Batista, yeah. He was really good in Gotham as Moroni.
I mean, he was super over the top, but he was kind of funny for how over the top he was.
It's Gotham; they're all over the top.
Yeah, for Gotham, he was playing it pretty
on the level.
I think he knew what kind of show he was in.
Yeah, and to be fair, the other guy who was playing Falcone, he didn't know what show he was on. He thought he was in a proper crime show, so he just looked so much
I like Falcone because he feels like, oh, I'm playing like something like The Godfather,
right.
And like no one corrected him, and like no,
it's fine.
This is like the Godfather on meth or with Down syndrome or something. Like this is not what you think it is.
It's about as labyrinthian as Godfather is, but anyway.
No.
So apparently that Men in Black reboot is moving forward. They say that it's going to be less like the original ones where it's not just 2 guys, it's more an ensemble piece. And the newest additions, Chris Hemsworth is going to play a lead in it, and so is Tessa Thompson from Thor.
I'll tell you what, you've said the magic words, because I really want to see more comedies with Chris Hemsworth.
Sure.
I really feel like I feel like we've discovered a hidden gem among comedic actors with Chris Hemsworth. I was
does have good timing.
Why have we not been using him like this for the last couple years of his career? Because this is his bread and butter. This is what he's fucking good at. So
also Tessa Thompson, not bad choice either.
Yep,
she did a pretty good job as Valkyrie.
I like her overall too. I'm glad to see that she's going to be getting more projects as well, because I also really like her. So yeah,
the question I have to ask, though, is which one's the veteran and which one's the rookie of those two?
Oh, please make it Chris Hemsworth. Please make him be the rookie.
If it's going to be more of an ensemble piece, maybe they're both rookies, or they're both kind of just part of the team. Because maybe we don't need to do the whole old vet with the rookie thing again.
Well, because they're the same age, so
yeah. So maybe
that's what makes it funny.
Maybe we're maybe we're getting away from that as a storyline, or like Travis said, maybe that'll be funnier that like one of them is the old vet, even though they're the same age.
That would be funny. It's like, I've been at this for like 20 years. It's like, you're 2 years younger than me. I know.
Yeah, what were you doing back then?
You don't still know shit, Rook.
So there is a Grudge reboot happening. I don't know why, but
oh, really? That's the old remake of the Japanese horror film?
Yeah, it's not like that's never happened before. No one's attempted to do that, and it didn't suck horribly.
No.
Yeah, okay.
But the actors they've chosen for it is Andrea Riseborough, who is from Birdman. She was the other actress on the set there. John Cho, Lin Shaye, and Damien Bashir. Like, they're getting these A-list actors and then Lin Shaye onto this whole thing. I'm just like,
okay,
all right, you guys, just do it again, I guess.
Interesting move for a horror film. Usually we don't get A-list people to, usually they try and keep the budget a little cheaper on that.
B-list
for a
people.
second reboot. A second reboot. Just
what an odd move. But I'll tell you what, it's not like, a Japanese curse does have, really scary elements to it. I just think they really fucked up during the remake, just in execution, so...
Yeah.
Also, I don't know, is it be made by Blumhouse or what?
Oh, I don't know. I don't care.
But, that seems like right up Blumhouse's alley, so I just assumed it was.
Yeah. It probably is, to be fair. Also, poor Jacob Tremblay. You know how that cute, innocent kid from The Room and all those other stuff? Well, we're finally spoiling him with R-rated films because he's been cast in a new Seth Rogen film called Good Boys.
Oh.
So we are doing our best to just taint all the innocent young actors in our business.
Well, to be fair, we were only making assumptions because this is Seth Rogen comedy.
Is
one that he
there
produced,
any
not
other
directed,
kind of Seth Rogen comedy?
Oh, did he produce it?
Yeah, so he's a producer along with Evan Goldberg because they don't do anything without each other.
Right.
And I don't see the writers of it are two people who worked on The Office, two of the main writers. So it depends on whether the good part of The Office or the bad part of The Office. Who knows?
Yeah, you got to clarify on that. Like,
it just has dozens of episodes, so I'm sure.
That's like for me if like someone like, oh, I wrote on Dexter. I'm like, which half of Dexter?
The later half. Go sit in a corner.
Go away. Like I don't want anything to do with you.
Yes, indeed.
Like, there's a stark contrast for that.
Yeah. They also wrote for that Stephen Merchant show, Hello Ladies, but I don't think anyone's ever watched that show, so who cares?
I have not, so your
you
theory
that,
holds.
Comic book adaptation, The Kitchen, we've been talking about?
Yes, I was very interested in that, with the women taking over as mob bosses for their husbands.
Yep, so the newest person to join that cast is Elizabeth Moss from The Handmaid's Tale.
Nice.
Yeah, they're getting some A-listers, I mean, because it's her... Melissa McCarthy, and who was the last one? Was it Tiffany Haddish, or was it?
I forget who we saw in the last one. I remember Melissa McCarthy, which was the one that stood out to me.
Yes,
I was like,
Tiffany Haddish.
That's an interesting
Tiffany
choice.
Haddish, so.
Yeah, I find that very interesting. I want to see how that one shakes out because if there's ever an environment to do a strong female led crime movie, it's right now. So
yeah, sure. I mean, it just depends on, because from what I hear, like I think you were mentioning too, like The Kitchen would be a fairly dark storyline, but they get these actresses, most of these actresses who are very goofy and comedic, and then Elizabeth Moss, who's very much a dramatic actress. So I'm curious.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, just from who they're casting, what the tone of this movie will be, because let's get it straight, guys. The Kitchen is not funny. Like, it's not a comedy. Like, really, really dark shit happens.
I mean, maybe Melissa McCarthy has some acting chops we haven't seen before.
You're gonna have to imagine Melissa McCarthy curb stomping someone on the sidewalk.
You know, okay.
Actually, that's a lot easier than you'd imagine.
I mean,
really?
Actually, I can actually see that.
You know what? I have seen her in I Spy, where it was just a hair short of that, and it was a comedy too.
Yeah. Like, no, I think I can picture it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to be fair, she was really good in that St. Vincent movie where she had to do a dramatic role for the most part. Where I'm like, yeah, I mean, she was playing a mom, but playing that role, I'm like, she's really good at drama. She can really work the tears. So we'll see. Okay, so this next one here, Michael B. Jordan's producing this film called The Liberators, which is following the 761st Regiment in World War II of entirely African-American soldiers. So, yeah.
Oh, very cool.
That's kind of cool. They were known as the Black Panthers, of course, so he's not getting away from that.
Nice.
Man, okay, that's... I can see
Come on, he's
why
going to be riding that way for a while.
Yeah, I think he knows what side his bread is buttered, so... Also, that Al Capone biopic Fonzo that we talked about, that Josh Trank is directing. You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, Josh Trank is making another movie, people, and they just cast Kyle MacLachlan, Linda Cardellini, Jack Lowden, and Matt Dillon to this film. And I'm like, that's a pretty broad range of people to put in this film. Sure.
I mean, then again, for a biopic, you might want to be a little more
varied.
I was going to say I'm more on the realistic side, like of who best represents each person in the biopic. So I'm unfamiliar with Al Capone's like inner circle or family or anything like that. All I really know is the man himself. So it would be hard for me to judge the casting on that.
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple older actors here with Matt Dillon and Kyle MacLachlan at least. So it's like, okay, that seems to be plausible for a gangster film kind of thing. And hey, Kyle MacLachlan's getting tons of work now after Twin Peaks. So there we go.
Well, as far as Al Capone stories, all they really have to beat is the Untouchables.
Pretty much. Okay, now this one's a really weird story, and I don't know what to make of it. So, Shia LaBeouf is going to star in this movie called Honey Boy, which is a biopic on his own life, where he is going to play his own father in the movie. And Lucas Hedges from Manchester by the Sea will play him, the younger version of Shia LaBeouf, in the film.
I think this has gone full Inception.
Yeah, fine, whatever. Shia LaBeouf can do whatever he wants at this point.
Yeah, from what I heard, it sounds like a pretty dramatic story because his dad was not a nice dude at all, apparently. Like a heavy alcoholic, and Honey Boy was the term that he would use as a nickname for Shia LaBeouf. So it's kind of creepy. But
yeah, that sounds weird. Like, I don't want
basically, it's a long extended therapy session for Shia LaBeouf.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't want anyone to call me Honey Boy, much less my father.
Lady and the Tramp is getting a live-action remake.
Oh, no.
And the guy directing it is the guy who did the Lego Ninjago movie.
Okay, I've not seen that one, but that's
it's not
like
bad.
live action, like dogs, like are the mouths going to move, or is it going to be like...
I'm sure it's going to be CG animals, like all their stuff is. That's live action, quote. So...
Boy.
Yeah, they'll bring back the peanut butter trick, I don't know.
That is... I don't want to watch dogs fuck. But it's fine.
I could go to the park for that, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Noah Hawley says that apparently there was some doubt over Fargo Season 4 happening, but he's sounding much more confident about it, and if it happens, he just confirmed it's going to be a period piece. So.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Just be better than Season 3. So.
Aren't they all period pieces? Like...
No, well, I mean, technically in the past, but the first and third season were like kind of mid-2000s or 2010.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah. So they're period, but not by that long of years. So
yeah, they're not like like it's not like they had to spend a huge amount in the
last decade or so.
Yeah, it's not like they have to spend a huge amount in the costuming department or anything like that.
Yeah. Again, I just want him to make a good season, because season 3 I was just not crazy about, to be honest. So I'm just
I still have not watched it. I'm so behind.
I've only
on
made it
my
through like
TV.
2 or 3 episodes, but it just didn't hook me very well. And I mean, to be fair, season 2 kind of had that problem where it started really slow and got better, but from what I heard from other people, it's still kind of like, Noah Hawley's biggest problem right now is that he is so into his artsy phase, where he's just like, and now we're gonna have this sequence of something happening for some reason, for just cause it looks cool, you know. I'm just like, all right. That Lord of the Rings Amazon series is currently in production still, and rumors are flying around that for 2 seasons they're going to spend $500 million.
How much
shit.
did the movies actually cost to make in the first place?
Probably around that same budget, but that's just for 2 seasons of this show. So
Wow.
Okay, they are looking to get their own Game of Thrones, and they are not afraid to shoot money at it.
I mean, to be fair, Amazon has all the money in the world, so they could throw it out there.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That, and it does have a fan base, and people know of the franchise.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that sounds like a lot of money, but if I were to bet it on any property, I bet Lord of the Rings is one of the ones that are up there. That or Harry Potter, I'd throw that sort of money around.
Yeah, definitely. So again, I played this game last time with you, Nick, but you seem to not know what this character was for Preacher. This is a different character casting with a guy named Johnny Coyne, who's an actor from Alcatraz, this short-lived thing that nobody remembers, who's going to play a character called Allfather Deranique in Preacher Season 3.
Yeah, maybe it's been a while since I've read Preacher, because I don't remember that name either. But
Okay.
I did remember from the last time with Preacher. It was Jesse's family I was thinking of.
Okay.
I was just thrown off by the name. What was this guy's name?
Allfather Deranique. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it. Daronique.
I feel like you'd remember it.
I think he might be the one of the head of like the secret religious organization that Preacher has to fight.
Oh, the Grail or whatever they're called.
He's like, oh, I remember this guy. Yes, okay, he's part of he's part of the Grail. He's like the leader. He's like the leader of it.
Well, 'cause
and
isn't the other guy Hair Star the leader?
Oh no, he's not quite the leader until this guy falls out of an airplane and lands on the last child of Christ.
Oh yeah.
I remember this part specifically because there's the one guy guarding the last Scion of Christ or whatever, and the last Scion of Christ is this mentally challenged boy because they've been inbreeding.
Yep.
The last descendants of Christ to keep the bloodline pure.
Lovely.
So it's this bucktooth, weird-looking kid that is mentally challenged, and all he does, when he sees the Allfather got pushed out of the plane and coming at him and the bodyguard, he goes to the bodyguard and he says, "You will be with me forever in the eternal afterlife." And the bodyguard just looks at him and goes, "Fucking great." And they both get splattered by this unbelievably obese man falling from a plane.
Oh boy.
All
right.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that if that happens.
Indeed. All right, so going through a few quick stories here. Allison Williams from Get Out, the evil girlfriend, she's going to join a series of unfortunate events season 3. So that's cool.
Cool. I did like her in that movie, so I'm glad. I'm interested to see her in more stuff. Although I'm going to be afraid of her for most of it.
It's like, so you're the villain, right? No, I'm not the villain. You're the villain, right?
Well, she's either going to be a villain or completely an idiot. I mean, that's how
true.
all the adults are in a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, then David Tennant and Juliette Lewis are going to join Lena Dunham's new series Camping, which I'm not terribly bothered by. Lena Dunham, okay. Ryan McPartlin, who was in Chuck, is going to join the Bad Boys spinoff as Jessica Alba's husband in that show. So they're at least getting one boy in the series with 2 leads, girls, for a show called Bad Boys. But
It's still going to be called Bad Boys?
I don't know. There's so...
You got to have figured they would call it Bad Girls or something.
Yeah. That Jessica Biel show, The Sinner, which apparently people are really liking, got renewed for season 2. So that's cool.
Cool. I have not even heard anything about it. What's The Sinner?
It's a limited series on USA, and apparently people have raved that it's actually one of Jessica Biel's better projects she's done. So
cool. Well, has it beat Into the Blue? I'm
sure that's a very low bar to clear.
Justin has no idea what I'm talking
No,
about.
I know. I remember Into the Blue. I remember that movie.
Do you?
Yeah,
oh man,
I
you're a
saw the
select
posters.
few who remembers Into the Blue.
I saw a poster for it, man. Anyway,
saw a
Clarissa
poster.
Explains It All is getting a reboot with Melissa Joan Hart back in the series.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Man, 90s nostalgia paying off for Melissa Joe Hart.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean that's pretty much all she does now is just write off of Sabrina and this show. So, also one death that I noted, but it's kind of it's funny only in the sense that I just didn't assume this was the case. Frank Avrush, who you say who's that? He's the original guy who played Bozo the Clown. He has finally died at 89. So,
Okay. Wow. Bozo is dead.
Bozo is dead.
I'm sure the Chuckies of the world are fucking thrilled.
Also, kind of sad news. Rick and Morty's future is apparently very unclear, and by Dan Harmon's own admission on a Twitter rant that he had with some fan, of course.
I heard that one of the
rant. It was pretty good.
one of his fans on Twitter was, or I should say, one of the Rick and Morty fans, maybe not a fan of his, is like, get off your drunk alcoholic ass and get some Rick and Morty done. And he was fired back with a snarky, yeah, I should really get done on a project that isn't been greenlit by Adult Swim at all for season 4. So that I find surprising because I thought Rick and Morty was very popular.
Oh, I think it's not a problem of the popularity. I think it's a problem with the fans itself.
Yeah.
But you'd think Adult Swim wouldn't give a shit as long as it was getting ratings,
I think
right?
though that Dan Harmon gives one because if you put that
Yeah.
new game he did, Counting Plus, he has a whole section that's devoted to just making fun of his fans because he's just like, okay, you guys are insane, pretty much.
I mean, to be fair, I've seen the Rick and Morty fans in action, and it's like, holy shit, what is wrong with you guys?
And you are technically one of them.
I know, but it's the same thing I get with the Steven Universe fans, where if anything gets big enough, it feels like the loudest people are the biggest douchebags.
They're so entitled.
Like why do they why any fandom that gets big enough gets ruined by these fucking assholes?
Yep.
So I'm very sad to hear that that's not moving forward because I mean, Travis, I one of these days I will get you into Rick and Morty because just imagine a series where it's all concept, like the concept episodes from Community.
Oh, I mean, it's the same person. So I mean, it's not like I'm sure if I got past the annoying sound effects, I would probably enjoy it. And I have liked the few episodes you've shown me, but man, these fans are just like, yeah, I should just actually stay away from this just because of the fans.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, and the last one here is officially Marvel Land is coming to California Adventure in 2020 with a section that may be devoted entirely to Wakanda. So,
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
I expect a whole I was expecting just the magical, and Disney's gonna make it like in the magical kingdom it's now Wakanda. Nope, all of it, just all Wakanda, guys. I mean,
yeah, and everyone else is going to be like, wait a minute, I thought this place was real.
no, I mean they might buy an African country and name it Wakanda.
Yeah.
Because they have the money to do it.
To be fair, I've actually seen YouTube videos where they placed where Wakanda might exist if it was a real place, and it's like, well, nobody lives there, so yeah.
Well, they've always been cagey about showing where it is on a map in the MCU.
Yeah,
it's
but
kind of
someone did a topographical analysis where they're like, okay, if there's mountains here and a lake here, then theoretically Wakanda would be a small portion existing in this spot in this country. And I'm like,
yeah. They didn't
sure.
mention it's small. It's relatively small
Like the
compared
city
to the
itself
other.
is the country, pretty much.
Yeah, that's more or less. So it's they're vague about it on purpose, so it's hard to get a read on it. But that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, then that's pretty much all the news I got. So, yay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Justin. We are going to cut over to the trailers for this week. So, Tom, load up the trailers.
Yo, Tom from Toonami here. You're listening to the UGO podcast, and I hope y'all are ready because Trailer Talk starts now.
And welcome back to Trailer Talk, guys. Oh, my God. We are late on this one, Travis.
Well, I'm late. I'm thinking you're probably not so late.
Well, we're late on recording it. I've already watched this one 5 different times, but it dropped the day after we recorded our last week's episode.
Because they do that.
Because,
Out of spite.
yeah, so we have the new, first up, Infinity War trailer. I guess the official trailer number 2, even though I think we already had TV spots
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Their
so
number system, especially since they've introduced, teasers, it doesn't make sense.
could we possibly get more excited for this film?
Possibly.
Should we find out? Should we find out?
Actually, I think we'll get less excited because we'll find out who dies.
Mm-hmm. All right, so without further ado, let's give it a shot here. Avengers! The Inception crossover.
I knew it was
The
going to happen
entire
eventually.
time I knew him, he only ever had one goal.
Bacon
To
bits.
wipe out half the universe.
I was close.
Oh, so only
He
half.
gets
So
all
he
the
started
Infinity
small.
Stones. He can do it with the snap of his fingers. Just like that.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
You goddamn right.
So we should stop that. Spider-Man.
We got one advantage. He's coming to us.
Uniboot.
We have what Thanos wants. So that's what we'll use.
Let's talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good.
Wow.
And Tony's gonna smack a bitch.
The end is near. When I'm done, half of humanity will still exist.
Yay.
Yeah, get some.
As all things should be. I hope they remember you.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. Then I am Spider-Man.
Yeah!
Awesome.
Holy shit! Okay, so that was the trailer for Infinity War. God damn!
That was awesome.
Okay, it's gonna come down a little bit. Wow, I am digging this even more so now.
Mhm.
I'm into this. Holy shit. We get to see more Thanos. I I love Thanos' little line to Tony at one point. I think he's talking to Tony, I'm not sure, but he's like, I hope they remember you.
Yeah, that one's either going to be to Tony or Steve. One of the
Yeah,
two.
I'm like, oh, I don't think that's gonna play well for whoever you're saying that to.
Yeah.
And he seemed like he meant it too. Like, man, I hope they remember you because you're a pretty good fighter.
Well, he seems very determined. Like, nope, I'm only going to destroy half of you. Like, okay.
Yep, he destroys half the universe. That's how he courts death. You don't want to kill the whole universe because then death has nothing to do.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, he has a whole thing where he wants to hook up with death. Like,
Right.
so that's very part of his canon is killing half the universe. So yeah, like that. I love seeing basically everyone together. Like Groot hanging with Thor. I like, is he holding like some sort of, was it a club or those roses that Thanos is holding there?
Yeah, kind of, he's going to go court death
Yeah, I guess.
with flowers.
Weird.
That's kind of weird.
I like his like cronies here. I'm not sure if I recognize any of these guys, but of course we get to see everyone hanging. I like the Star-Lord and Tony Stark thing here. That's pretty good. Like, I like that everyone's looking around like, can you believe this
It's
guy?
just like, can he say that?
Yeah.
I don't think he can say that.
And Drax is just hanging in the corner here. Like, wow. And I love like Tony is like, is this what I sound like when I'm an asshole to other people? Like, I found the one person in the universe as big of a dick as me.
It's impressive.
It doesn't look like things are going well for Thor, Vision, or Doc Strange here.
No.
Like, That's pretty cool. Like Doctor Strange helping out Star-Lord with the shooting.
Right.
And then I don't know what's going on there with Doc Strange, but that shit doesn't look good. And I like that the Hulkbuster gets taken out by whatever these nameless like things are.
Monster things.
Yeah. Because normally like those fodder villains, they're usually like nothing villains. So to see them actually take out something big enough is actually pretty intimidating.
Well, the bigger the villain, the bigger the henchman, I guess.
My God, there is just so much cool shit here. I mean, I don't like Tony's weird rocket boot thing. Like, I don't even know how that works. But I love it.
I'm just wondering, like, Black Panther has just done so amazing in the box office. I can only imagine how this movie's gonna do.
Well, I mean, before they even knew it was going to do well, they already decided to set most of this film, it seems like, in Wakanda. Mm-hmm. Like, they're hanging there specifically.
Right.
Probably because it's such a CG level, like, heavy place that it won't look out of place when aliens attack it.
Right.
So it's a smart special effects move as well.
Also, I did like seeing Tony interact with Peter Quill, but I really want to see him interact with Black Panther's sister.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the
Shuri, I think.
Yeah, like you colonizer, you stupid, ignorant colonizer. Yeah, I'm way more advanced than your stupid little Iron Man suit.
That's why I want to see it.
I did like in the Black Panther where it was like, here, we're going to digitize your helmet on, like, or what are you going to do? Take it on and off? It's interesting how, like, so many people are wearing capes because I could not figure out if this was Thor or Doctor Strange for a little while.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, which one is that? All right. I like how he just crushes the fucking Tesseract. It's like, oh, well, all I really want is the jewel on the inside.
Yeah,
so
fuck this thing.
Mm-hmm. I like the ending of the prequels here with the whole energy barrier shield. Because obviously, I thought it would be the Wakandans protecting their own country, but actually it's the
opposite.
It's the opposite side. Like Thanos must be using this as some sort of fortress, or must need this to do something. Some plot MacGuffin. I don't know. So they're obviously attacking the shit out of it, and I like that it's got the African setting around it as well. Very cool. No more hints that Scarlet Witch might be a fucking Skrull, but I'm on the lookout. I'm on the lookout here. I like how she's looking at me.
Wait, was it Scarlet Witch or Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson. I'm sorry. Scarlet Witch could be a Skrull too. Anyone could be. But I like how she's looking at me here, like, yeah, I'm onto you.
I know what you're thinking about me.
I'm onto you, ScarJo. Don't look at me like that. Like Travis, she knows.
She does know.
But. So I'm very excited for this film. I don't know. Do you got anything more to add?
Let's go fucking see it right now. I want to see it.
Holy shit.
I want to see it.
Oh, man.
What do you mean we have a month to go? Fuck you.
But you know who I didn't see in that trailer? Hawkeye.
Yeah, you're right. No.
Where the hell Hawkeye at? Well, yeah, no Hawkeye in the Infinity War trailer, but I found him, Travis.
You did,
I found his ass. Look at this. He's in the wrong movie. He ended up in the wrong one.
Huh.
He's in this movie called Tag.
Like Tag You're It?
Like Tag You're It. Yeah. Interesting. Let's see. Where you at? Hawkeye, what are you doing over here?
Hey guys, this is Jeremy Renner. I want to introduce the trailer to a movie called Tag. I'm in the middle of playing the game right now, so...
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Susan, you take Jerry to be your husband.
What's the difference between Episcopalian and Lutheran?
Episcopalians don't eat fish.
That's pescatarian. That's not a religion.
They're all fanatics. I don't know. You make this.
They're all They're all.
I love you.
Please tell me what's going on here.
Our group of friends has been playing the same game of tag for 30 years.
What?
For the entire month of May, every year, we play tag.
You got me.
You never know when someone's going to pop up.
Congratulations, buddy. You're in. Doing great, Anna.
You're doing great.
Our buddy Jerry is the best that ever played. And now he wants to retire.
Never been tagged. Just saying.
So who's it?
Can't touch this.
This is the year we get Jerry.
Can't touch this.
Synchronize your watches.
I don't know how to do that.
I don't wear a watch. Time is a construct.
Some couples go on cruises, some couples go camping, some couples go to strip clubs and have gangbangs. And this is just what we love. This is our gangbang.
Wow.
Wow.
Seems like the game has really kept you guys connected.
All right. So good to see you. Come on. It's been a while since we've done this.
This game has given us a reason to be in each other's lives.
I think your dad would have really wanted you to be dead.
Damn.
Eat my
dick. Balls.
But ice cream.
What?
He knows I'm lactose intolerant. He's taunting me.
Yeah, Helen Burroughs was actually really funny on that trailer. I like that.
This might be the only times where we're like, based on a true story, I'm like, yeah, fine, whatever.
So, what an interesting concept. I don't understand, like, because other than the game of tag, well, like, what's the initial conflict here? Other than their friend is retiring and he's the best in the
He's
game.
never been tagged.
He's
so,
never been
like,
tagged, so they want to get him before, like, I mean, it's not really a huge conflict. Like, you'd figure it would be something a little more along the lines of a rift between the group or something, but...
Well, I think that's part of it. I think it's like his fiance being like, hey, are you going to actually, be with these friends if you're not playing tag with them?
Mm-hmm.
So...
Sure. All right.
It looks funny, though.
You know what? I was surprised when I heard the initial premise. I was kind of like, that sounds a little dumb. But it seems kind of funny. I'm wondering what the rules are, because they said that's during 1 month of every year, apparently. And it seems like, they're in the parking lot just tagging the shit out of each other. And like what are the rules? Like, it doesn't seem like anything's off the table, because John Hamm is tagging him during a wife's birth. So, like, I guess the point of the game is to catch you when you're vulnerable.
Well, they also did it during a funeral.
And they did it during a funeral, so it's pretty good. I like how Jeremy Renner just busts through this fucking window, and it's like he just goes right through and is like, I'm like, whose window is that? Because if he jumps out my window, you're paying for a new fucking window. I don't care if this game has been going on for 30 fucking years. You're gonna cough up a couple $100 for a new goddamn window.
That's like after you're out of the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna imagine this is Jeremy Renner like, alright, so I didn't get to be in the Bourne movies, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do this instead.
So I'm gonna do the comedy version, apparently. I do like that they show him like even in this wood shot here, like let's see if I can find it. It's a really creepy shot.
Yeah, the one where he's just
it is.
standing there smiling in the woods.
What the fuck is that?
That's creepy.
That's with a soundtrack change, you could change that into a fucking horror movie.
Like, I'm
no
almost
problem.
wondering, maybe that is part of the premise, is that he's not the main character, and it's actually those four guys that are the main characters. We're following them instead, trying to catch him before he gets married.
That's what I would assume. We see a lot more of the other four than Jeremy Renner.
So basically, he's the villain, from what I see.
I would say that he's just too into the game by the end of it, or like he has to learn a lesson. I do like how they even are... For some reason, they're like, it's a really big reason to touch each other. Like, maybe there's some sort of truce or armistice going on where they can, like, man, we haven't done this in a while. It's like, really? But you only play it for a month is what I understand from the premise. But, maybe I misunderstood that.
I just really hope that the end, like, message of the story isn't like, oh no, she put a ring on it, so he's been tagged. Or something really...
Maybe the wife could get in on the game.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Like, if it's just her actually being in on the game, I would be
like at the end of maybe at the end of the wedding, she goes in for the kiss and is like, "You're it, bitch," and then just like runs off,
rips off the high heels, and just books it,
and just goes.
That would be
awesome. I love to see John Hamm in here. John Hamm is very funny. He has surprising comedic chops. With some of the stuff I've seen him in. So I'm really glad to see him in a comedy. What was the last time we saw him? Baby Driver? No, we had to have seen him before that. That's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. I can't remember it.
No, I don't remember anything else other than that. I'm sure he's had another role, though. We're just forgetting.
Right.
So yeah, and Hannibal Buress was actually cracking me up in this too. Like I don't have a watch. Time is a construct. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean you don't have a watch? Do you not keep track of time?
No, because time is a construct.
What is? But yeah, that's it was funnier than I had first thought. So
no, I actually did like this trailer quite a bit.
I'm actually looking forward to it.
When does this one come out?
Let's see. When does it come out? What we have here?
We haven't have a release date yet.
Let's see. No, it doesn't look like it.
All right.
I don't.
So it's 2018. So
yeah, just this 2018 at some point. So well, we're gonna look forward to that. All right, Travis. We got a last minute edition here.
You lied to me.
Yeah,
you said there's only 2.
No, we have one more released just today as we were recording this. So I am very excited to watch this one because we have the second trailer for Deadpool 2.
Okay, I guess I forgive you then.
Yeah, I knew it might be up your alley. So what is the silly Deadpool guy doing here? Without further ado, let's just give it a watch here.
Wait, what movie are we in?
Dopinder.
Oh, I shit my pants.
Actually, that may have been me.
Oh, you're living the dreams, DP. Yeah. Devil may care attitude. Strong
shit.
ties. Beautiful girlfriend.
Sorry I'm late. I was rounding up all the gluten in the world and launching into space where it can't not hurt us ever again.
Kiss me like you miss me, Red.
Nice.
Awesome.
What in the fuxicle is this?
My name's Cable. I'm here for the kid.
What? The kid?
Move or die.
Awesome.
Kids give us a chance to be better than we used to be. He needs you.
You're a lot smarter than I look. I ain't letting Cable kill this kid. But I can't do this alone.
Did you speak up? It's hard to hear you with that pity dick in your mouth.
We're gonna form a super duper fucking group. We need them tough, morally flexible, and young enough to carry their own franchise for 10 to 12 years. We'll be known as X-Force.
Isn't that a little derivative?
You're absolutely right. Now, let's go get our fuck on.
Don't call it a comeback.
This is amazing.
Years, I'm rocking my beat with suckers and fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go.
Tell me they got that in slow motion.
Where's that guy?
Doing the right thing is messy.
Oh shit.
But if you want to fight for what's right, sometimes you have to fight dirty. Is why Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is pure pornography.
Oh, God, I wish I finished college.
It lives up to the hype, plus.
Fuck it, they probably won't even make it 3.
Yeah, why would they? Stop it, 2. You killed it.
All right, so that was the trailer for Deadpool Dos.
God, I want to see this movie.
My God, I want to see it so bad. Oh, holy shit!
This looks amazing.
I'm into it. I'm glad to see my man Dopinder back.
Looks
really
like he's gonna get a somewhat major role in this.
I like, I don't even care if it's a small role. I just really enjoyed him. I loved Deadpool in this. I loved I love that they even brought the girlfriend back. I thought she was one of the side characters we'd axe off, pretend like she just didn't exist. But
right.
I do like
she's
still with it. So this is interesting. Cable is breaking into this prison. I thought it was like a prison in the future, but it looks like Deadpool is in there. Like he's an inmate. So I'm not sure what the hell's with that. Like he must get captured at some point.
There must be some really nasty opening sequence.
Yeah. Of what's going on here. So that's interesting. I wonder what that happens. I love that they even are having a joke with like the studio that brought you sort of thing. So this kid, it must be interesting. That must be before like he does that, and then maybe he gets captured, and that's where the prison's jumpsuits come from, and the collar that I assume is trimming his neck. I love him screwing around on the X chair here,
right?
Like just this flipping around
like a dick.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll ever show their version of Xavier or anything.
I don't know. Think he'll have hair?
Mm-hmm. So we do have an official name. Like people were wondering if this was going to be X-Force or Six Pack, and it's X-Force, which makes a lot more sense. Even though Six Pack would be funny, like that would be a funny name. But yeah,
this scene. This is.
That's got to be one of the openings, right? Because he has the scene where he's open on what is it? The him fighting some of these gangs. I think he's fighting a bunch of gangs in the beginning for whatever reason. Because there's this scene here where he's fighting what looks like the Yakuza 2, and then whoever these guys are, and then later he's fighting what looks like some Japanese men in a bathhouse. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing Yakuza, but I don't know. I love to see Terry Crews in there. I wish that he had a line too. I wish I would get to hear some of the stuff from him. But is he dusting himself with cocaine in that shot?
I could only imagine. Yes, that would be the logical assumption.
Like it's got to be. Let's see if I can get out of here. Like yeah, probably cocaine. I would assume. So that's pretty good.
Chicken head?
Is that a chicken head in the background?
Chicken head in the background.
Yeah, it could be. Let's see if I can find it again.
Chicken head.
Yep, chicken head. Yeah. All right, so no comedian can do without a chicken head.
I'm sure.
I love coming out of the casket here. Some great stuff. I like to see Negasonic Teenage Warhead again. Yes. This thing with the gun hand.
Stop shooting yourself?
That thing's fucking amazing. I don't know, guys. I know I heard some weird stuff about a test screening that didn't do well, but like a test screening could be like 100 people, and like I know you get the wrong 100 people, and maybe like it's.
I don't know. This movie's gonna have the hype. Like whether or not it lives up to it is gonna be questionable.
I don't know. I think all of this shit in here looks rad. Like there's nothing in here that would set off my spider sense of like, oh, I don't think this is gonna be as good or not gonna be very up to quality. Like all of this stuff looks good. Like even the cinematography and stuff in here looks even better than the last one. Like there's a more rich color palette, it looks like. I do like it that he bricks this fucking guy. But yeah, I even like to see, Domino. I forget what this other chick with this like laser whip is. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Not sure.
Like at all. But I don't know.
Katana?
It's just Katana jumped franchises.
I mean, she wasn't doing so good in the other one, so.
But yeah, overall, just still very excited, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I'm looking forward to it. I'm strong feeling on it.
Let's go for it.
Strong hopes. Yeah, hell yeah. But with that, we are going to take a small music break and be back with the interview with Geekset right after this.
They call me Deadpool, I'm hella fast. Came to murk the bad guys and get some ass. Got blades for days, got guns galore. Got combo moves, evades and more. With bear traps and hand grenades. Pull the pistol like a maniac right in your face. Popping off caps, leave a trail of guts. Sitting on my chair, scratching my nuts. Don't stop when I shoot, full auto is on. Your ass is grass and I'm on the lawn. Hot lead to the head and I won't stop. What your crew gonna do when I hack and chop? All these bitches are prima donnas. I stuff my face with chimichangas. Tacos and beers, always keeping it loose. Hang on for a minute while I'm dropping a deuce.
And welcome to the UGO Podcast, interview edition yet again. And I am here with a crazy group of guys that I had not had the chance to meet at Anime Milwaukee, but we were just in the peripherals. Probably a good thing we didn't meet because, conventions are only big enough for one podcaster. And we would have had to have fought to the death, Agni Kai style. So this way it's a lot more, now it's just going to be just vague insults being thrown over the internet. So that's probably a better thing. But I am here with the hosts of the Geekset Podcast. Guys, would you like to say hi?
Hey! What's good? What's good, everybody? Man. How y'all doing today? Thanks for having us, for real.
Of course. All right, so can we get some names to go with some of these voices?
Well, sure. I'm Ron Bacardi, the actual brains of the operation.
And I'm Deuces. I'm just here. I just come along for the ride.
And we also have.
Oh yeah,
I feel bad.
We're kind of thrown off because one of our hosts, he's out. He's not here with us today.
He's with The Walking Dead right now.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And we're holding it because of his beard. So one of our hosts, he had a really thick beard, and then he cut it all off, like full baby skin,
for no apparent reason.
No reason at all. So he doesn't get any respect. So we kind of.
So everything the fact that you guys haven't seen him or can't speak to him is because he doesn't deserve this.
Yeah, we gave him the wrong address on purpose. We told him to go down to Racine.
So shout out to Adlib. He's our Hispanic causing panic. That's part of the group. You understand? He couldn't make it with us, but
see, I just thought his voice was completely different. I was having a hard time because without the beard, there's just no absorption for the audio.
Right? No.
He has nothing there now, but just pure alto. Yeah. As soon as the beard came off, it's like
just imagine before
when I finally seen him the last time. Which everybody kind of caught our hijinks on the podcast. It was like my first time seeing him without it, and it just felt like we just had a child in the room with us the whole time. I thought we were
right, we drink, and with all our podcasts, and it was like, can I even give him a drink?
Right, it felt like you definitely had some underage individual that leaked into our studio session. Right. But yeah, shout out to Lib, man. He couldn't make it, but I know he's with us in spirit. Andale.
Poor Lib, not even here and catching shrapnel.
No, right.
But for the listeners at home, would you like to give a brief description of the Geekset Podcast so they know your setup?
Right. Well, right now, like our podcast is, as we say, the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. So we kind of, between the three of us, we all, we're heavily into hip hop, and we all heavily geek out into comics, video games, anime, and everything of that nature. The piece that we felt was missing was that the stigma of a geek, people think of the guy, who speaks like this and pushes his glasses up and shit.
Right.
And that's not the case. There's a lot of cool people that's in this geek culture.
I mean, geeks
that also
get pussy.
enjoys. Yes, as Liv says, geeks get pussy too.
So you got to prove that.
Yeah, so So we decided let's blend those cultures together and let's talk about it all.
Right. So I mean, yeah, it's just really like that. Like Rudy was saying, it's just the stigmata that people always have. Like, I mean, even if you're in hip hop. If you are, the hardcore gangster rapper or whatever, like, people secretly love Dragon Ball.
Right. I done had so many gangsters tell me, like, bro, yeah, man, the way Jiren was doing that, like, he was killing it, son. Right. It was like...
So it's like we felt that we wanted to be like that bridge to make people realize, like, you can still... unofficially go kill somebody on the street and go make sure you catch the 8 o'clock episode.
Right, I'm saying you can slang your drugs and also throw a Kamehameha wave and it'll be A-okay.
Right, we just trying to bridge it all together. So I think we've been doing pretty good with it though. I think we've able to show that in our show, being three individuals who pretty much heavy in the hip hop, like Deuces was saying, and just we all in different areas. Like Liv, of course, is heavy comic books. So he can pretty much tell you top to bottom any storyline just about, even though he always kind of crushed every theory.
He is not a man of theory at all. So as anybody would know, if you listen to any podcast or just anybody talking about comic books and video games and movies, a big part of it is saying what you think is going to happen.
Right.
Liv does not like what you think is going to happen.
Right. He's definitely, you
it's
can
like
tell
half of being a geek.
Right. Like he has no imagination whatsoever. He just it's whatever's on the paper. Like,
however, he's coming around these past few episodes. The last two episodes, he came with some theories.
He has some theories. I think he spoils himself now on spoilers, and then he tries to have theories before we can have a theory. So that's how he's trying to beat us.
I mean, what did he even do watching the new Infinity War trailer? Just go like, well, that's it. That's all on the screen. Like no speculation at all.
If we would say something like when we discovered that Silver Surfer was in there, it's like Liv loved it. There was a spoiler that but he's like, I just don't see how. And he was just done it. Like I don't see how. He's like that's great, but I don't see how. Yeah. Like no theory made up so whatsoever. But I mean, we gonna get him on. We getting him to that. We get him to the point of trying to create and have an imagination for some reason. I don't understand how he reads comics. He doesn't have any imagination, but it's hilarious. It builds with us. He's growing with us. by Little Lib.
Yep.
So that's great. So yeah, I saw you guys do some posts and stuff about Anime Milwaukee. I can't believe I missed you guys running around. Must have been the only other people running around with microphones. So do you do a lot of convention work like that?
No, that was actually our very first.
Yeah.
That's your first one?
That was our very first one. And so where it came kind of like natural is because we all, like I said, we all have done music and we've been on the music scene in general. So just like talking in front of a microphone and talking with people and about things that you love, it became natural. So I was like, I had this idea and I was like, let's get the mic. I was like, one, if we got the mic flag, like once you look official, people are going to want to rock with you.
Right.
So we made sure that the branding was there and that we looked good. And then, yeah, we just went around and just started talking to people. And it just, that was our first one, but it was a blast. We're going to do a whole bunch more though, because I don't know, we kind of caught the bug ASAP. Like everybody jumped into their natural habitats immediately.
It's fun for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, conventions are everyone's so nice. Like I mean, you got to like you put all that effort in to put your costumes together, or you're selling your products or whatever, and I mean, you want someone to want to talk to you about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's great that it was. It wasn't my first con to be at, but it was my first with the guys and everything, and being in that realm of being more like press.
That was my first time being press, but that was like my second con.
So it was like, I mean, that felt good because you really get to talk to people about the costumes and things that you truly wouldn't really ask, even though you're curious about it. So now that we got a press tag on, I can ask you like, how long did it take you to put this outfit together and things like that. So it's like you really get to dive more in to the culture, and I think that was what I really enjoyed, for it being our first one, and it kicked off great in Anime Milwaukee.
Yeah, there's definitely a power behind the microphone in which people are just very naturally comfortable. Like, especially if you do seem professional. That's what my experience has been, and I also know that like, I wonder if this person wants to talk to me about their costume, and the other person is like, I've spent the last week and a half perfecting my costume, hundreds of man hours. Yes, all I want to do is talk to you about it.
I remember running into a maid at Anime Milwaukee, and she was extremely nervous to talk about her costume, and you also got to look at too, because we're really walking around. We wasn't in costume, of course. We're walking around in sweatshirts and jeans, like just some regular guys. But we're really want to know, we really want to know where'd you get this costume? Like, how did you do it? Like, and it really, I think in some cases, especially when you see us not really, we're in the culture, but we're in our hip hop element. That's how we're looking in Anime Milwaukee. So we're walking up with the excitement of a anime nerd, but just really still dressed like hip hop rappers. Like you would think we had a concert there. Yeah. So it's like that's what makes it like when people realize how comfortable that we really are. Like we really are. We really want to know. Like we really geeked about seeing this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it opens up those doors. And when you especially put that mic in front of them and everything like that, it's they can talk for days.
Yeah, it's a real cool experience. So you are apparently the only podcast combining the hip-hop culture with the geek culture. Could you describe a little bit about the crossover, or how those two things kind of fit together?
Well, one of the big things that's in anime that I really love is when you watch a lot of the fight scenes in anime, they do choose some of the true beat hip-hop type songs for the background music of it. And I think that's one thing that really resonated with me early, seeing some of the big battles and just name any anime, and then you'll hear you'll hear Wu-Tang in the background or something of that nature. I think one of the things that really pushed me to the podcast was the Black Panther commercial, when Black Panther was coming and they used Run the Jewels as for the song that they was using.
Step in the spotlight.
Yeah. And so I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I don't think people understand how dope it is to see Run the Jewels, right? Who this is who a lot of people think is dope and feel is dope, but the mainstream is not really on Run the Jewels like that. But to see them on that big platform, I was like, people don't understand how big that is for hip hop culture. And so that's where I'm like, there's a lot of blending of music and just anime, comics, and things of that nature. That's one big thing that I think for me that helps blend those cultures.
Yeah. I think it's always been in it. Like, I mean, one of the biggest segments that I believe that we've always had, I mean, I've had for growing up, Cartoon Network, Toonami. Like, that was heavily hip-hop infused.
Yeah.
Like, the intermissions between the commercials, the commercial routing, Adult Swim as a whole.
Adult Swim, they always have, like, Killer Mike, Big Boy, somebody.
Like, that was, for me growing up, that's how I kind of learned. Like, Cartoon Network was really big for me, like, even just learning about anime. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dragon Ball was Inuyasha was one of my first animes I watched off of Cartoon Network. But that realm of late night, hip-hop music playing, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those... It was hip-hop was always used in the realm somehow, especially when it's more of the edgier animes or edgier cartoons or edgier characters or whatever. So I just felt like, and the fact that it's always been there, it's just never, no one really like shows it. Like it's never really, you know what I'm saying? And it's even now it's in so much culture. Means how many people know who Goku is, and in any music genre. So
there's a whole list somewhere. I think Complex did or something of Dragon Ball Z bars. So people like who've used Dragon Ball Z reference as bars in their songs or freestyles and things of that nature. So, I mean, it's a whole culture in the sense that. Like, it can actually be one culture if you look at just as far as like some of the generalities of it. Like, so if you think of like how people view the geek culture, and then how some people view hip hop culture. It's like there's a outcast. That's not so much as much now with hip hop because hip hop became super mainstream. But at one point, hip hop was looked down upon as far as a musical genre. And then in the geek culture, people kind of look down upon it like, oh, that's just whole different people. This person's weird or whatnot. Yeah. And it's not the case. And then when you also think about how passionate people are, like how people dive into the geek culture. Same thing as how people dive into that hip-hop culture, whether it's the way they act, the way they walk, the way they talk, the things they do. It's just they both mirror each other a lot.
Yeah, I actually never thought about it like that, but that actually is a really good. Maybe he is the brains.
So yeah, that sounds pretty good. You guys were talking about Adult Swim and Inuyasha and Aqua Teen, and I'm like, that's my jam. That's my origin story.
Yeah.
So I suppose
everybody.
You guys are 90s kids too, I assume?
Oh, I'm an 80s baby.
I was born in 86, so depending on where.
Okay.
I'm definitely the granddaddy of the group. Like I'm 81, so I was able to see hip hop at its finest. Some of the greatest cartoons ever created, Tom and Jerry's and the Looney Tunes, and then I hit the 90s and got to see Static Shock and learn Pokemon. Like I've been through all of it. Like I love it all. I've always been that big kid. I'm still like I watch cartoons constantly, and I mean you got to. I think that's what keeps us creative.
Well, what are you guys? Some of your favorite geek properties right now? What are you guys watching?
Of course, Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Super, huge. Attack on Titans. I can't wait for season 3 for that. That is like,
dude, I am so into that show.
I got into that show late too. Like, and it first episode got me. I tell this origin story all the time. I was like. When they Adult Swim used to show the commercials, I'm like, all right, it's giants eating people. So I'm thinking they just like gulp, like not.
Right.
Oh no.
No, and then that first episode where the Titan ate Aaron's mom and like ripped it, and then the blood splattered on his face. I was like, oh my god! I was like, I cannot not stop watching this show.
After that, and I mean, like for me, that was like I was happy to see Attack on Titan. Because, like, I was watching, I mean, I grew up on, like, Elfen Lied, which is definitely dark, you know what I'm saying, already, and Darker Than Black. Like, I've always liked the animes that were pretty much more on the realistic side anyway, where it showed a lot of gore or whatever. Tokyo Ghoul, Fate Night. So, I mean, like, Attack on Titan is one of my top. Like, Attack on Titan is phenomenal. Yeah. The movie is trash. I'm sorry.
Oh, I haven't even watched the movie yet.
The live-action movie don't...
I should skip it?
Yeah, it's trash. If you want to watch it for the culture. But that's about it. It's trash.
All right.
But I mean, My Hero Academia. That's finna drop. Like that's a great anime right now. I just got done watching something called Zodiac War. Juni
Tyson.
Yes, Juni Tyson. Yeah, that was really. Did you watch it?
I did.
What do you think of it? I thought it was amazing.
I did not like it at All. But
you didn't like it?
I didn't. No, I was very bored through almost all of it.
I really liked the rabbit. I liked how the rat kind of.
The rabbit has the coolest power set that I really like, and we never understand anything about him. We never learn anything about that guy, but he has the coolest.
I'm gonna have to watch this one. I haven't watched this one yet.
Yeah, so I felt like that one was one that we can probably. I mean, they can pretty do a lot of spin-offs of that. Like I felt like Zodiac War was in the same realm of Fate Night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, they do a flashback to another Junie Tyson that took place on a space station. I was kind of like, oh, I kind of want to see that.
Right. So I think, and like even how they ended it, where they were saying like when the rat, I'm trying not to spoil it for the.
No, that's good.
Yeah. He should have watched. I
should have watched it.
I recommended this already.
He definitely did.
But I mean, like even when the rat was going over all the different ways he saw it, he said this is the only way he thought he can win. But he had one way that he was friends with Rabbit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm like, I would have loved to see that one. You know what I'm saying? Like to see that timeline. So I liked it in the sense of it definitely gave me that Fate Night. I don't know if you're a fan of Fate Night, but that's why
I do. I just watched I think Apocrypha or whatnot. That was the one on Netflix.
Yeah, I just watched that one. Yeah, that was pretty good too. Like so I think they're actually doing another one, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
I love sexy historical figures as much as the next guy.
Who doesn't? You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't? But yeah, I mean, I can go on for days. Like I'm a big anime has always been, because I always love cartoons. So I'm the kind of guy to watch Hulu or Netflix and just let it just keep running. When the season's over, whatever you recommend me, just play that too. Like I've watched Tiger and Bunny and I mean, if it's I let it just run. I mean, but I've got some really great gems out of them, catching those.
Which we need because one of our heavy segments that we do on all of our podcasts so far has been Dragon Ball Super. Well, Dragon Ball Super is about to take a hiatus, so we need a new anime to continuously watch and talk episode to episode about.
Right. Like, I mean, don't give me a podcast because I have a podcast all about anime and it'll be forever. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, the anime they just keep getting better. I love it.
Yeah, very much so. Me and my co-host just got finished with Assassination Classroom, and we're trying to find it. We're trying to find a new one right now.
Yeah, talking about that. That's the thing is like right now, I like how popular that anime is getting right now. So it's like because like Netflix legit put out like 20 new originally made Netflix animes, and I'm like, and then ever since like I said, Crunchyroll has been my favorite application. I just like kind of like what you said with Netflix. I kind of just scroll and like, right, this one looks pretty beastie. Let me check this out.
You just, I mean, I give every anime like 2 episodes. Like I figure it all depends on what kind of anime it is. Yeah. I figure if it's a violent anime, you're gonna get death in the first episode. So then you pretty much know if you're gonna like it in the first episode. And
it's like if there's not at least 2 deaths in the first episode, I'm out.
Yeah,
I need murder.
You got to look back at the story. Like I want to make sure I'm watching the right thing. Right. Someone should have died. So that's how I felt about Elfen Lied. Like when Elfen Lied is one of my favorite animes, and the opening scene of this butt naked child with a helmet on, but literally she's not even touching anybody, and she's ripping bodies to shreds as she's leaving out the facility. And I remember my buddy like, I just need you to watch the first 15 minutes of this, and you'll be trust me, you're gonna watch it. And I was like, all right. And we was watching it, and I remember calling dude like, yo, bro.
Well, I imagine Devilman Crybaby must just have you geeked.
Yeah, Devilman Crybaby, I haven't watched it all. Like Devil May Cry Baby is definitely
the most weirdest.
Yeah, like that's testing my limits right now.
Yeah, that's when that's when you know you really deep in anime, when you got to watch your surroundings and when you watch certain things. Right. That's when you know. Like somebody in our group was the one that suggested Devil May Cry Baby to us.
They said don't watch it at work.
Right, and so I remember it was like it had to because I worked the second shift in my gig. So I remember I got off, and it was probably like 11:30, and so all the kids and everybody was laying down, and I put on that first episode, and I was like, I cannot watch this in the morning. I gotta watch this only afterwards.
I was nervous that it's on my Netflix. Like, if my daughter sees this, you understand? I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to have a conversation with her.
Right.
Like, this is not
Daddy, why is that vagina murdering that man?
Right.
That's what I watched it like. I had the yo feeling when I watched Orphan Lie, and when I watched the first episode of Devilman Crybaby, I was yelling.
I didn't know what I was like. What the
I paused
hell?
it. I literally paused it. Like when in the scene in the club when when the vagina ate, I paused it. I paused it and I say, "What? I need to read up on this show."
Between that and the between that and the blood rave in Blade, the opening, I'm like, I just don't want to ever visit a club. I don't think it seems dangerous.
The Blade scene, the Blade scene.
What's super hilarious is I subscribe to a couple of YouTube channels who do like top 10 and things like that, and one of them they was doing was like this top 10 most lewdest animes. And so it's this one anime where the storyline seems good, but I cannot figure out how I'm going to watch this ever in life, because it's this anime, and it may even be considered hentai, but it's called it's not hentai, but it's called Prison School.
Oh, I've seen some.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
And so the one chick, like, her finishing move is she suffocates people with her vagina.
Yeah,
and I'm like, there's no way that I can watch this without somebody side-eyeing me like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was definitely... I watched Prison School was a dark time in my life.
Oh, Japan.
Yeah, but I mean, I definitely watched it thinking it was something else.
I
was like, fam, I don't think they want to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like I was watching it and I was like, but so it's definitely like one of my other ones that was like that, but I had to, was a High School of the Dead. Like there's a lot of nude scenes and just heavily breast showing.
Well, see, and this is where my issue lies. When I start something, I have to finish it. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I can't even watch the first episode, because if I do, then I gotta watch the full season.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
You can only hide like a day or two. After a while, somebody's gonna walk in on you watching it, and they'll be like, "What the fuck is you watching?"
It's in your recommend, recently watched.
Yeah,
that's why I was nervous about Devilman Crybaby. Like my daughter gonna see I saw this. Like she might be like, "Daddy, what's Daddy watching?" I don't need that to happen. You know what I'm saying? I need to put a password on Devilman Crybaby.
Right. I just imagine Deuce somewhere just sweating up and just like about to hit that play button on Crunchyroll, looking side to side like, where am I? Am I in the clear? Am I in the clear? Presses the play button, something. Hey, what's going on, guys? God damn it!
So I mean, which is honestly, really, if you really think about it, what's funny about anime culture and hip hop culture is both overly objectify women.
Yes, they both overly objectify.
No shit. You don't say.
So if you haven't realized that, that's why we're definitely blending in both culture. Just get double the fun. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that is funny.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I wanted to ask you guys, just some general questions about your podcasting, because it doesn't seem like you only have 12 episodes up, so it makes me think that either you're just getting started, or did you have a previous podcast before, or are you rather new at this?
No, we're rather new. The reason why we only got 12 is because we do ours bi-weekly.
Okay.
It works with our schedule. So we're fairly new. We started back in September.
Yes, September.
September was our first episode. But it's every 2 weeks. So that's why it's so spaced out.
So we actually on 13.
We just did episode 13.
Right before talking to you today, we just finished our 13th without Liv.
I just got to say, guys, I'm very impressed with your level of quality and professionalism from what I've seen from your convention coverage and your content already. For you guys to be this good at it this early in the game, it makes me very jealous.
Well, but I mean, as far as content and quality, that's straight. We got to salute Poindexter. He's our podcast, the Podfather, as he calls himself.
Right.
But he really takes it serious about like quality sounding and things of that nature. And as far as image and branding, that's kind of one of my passions. Like I always want to make sure we look good, where we look professional. I treat it so coming from music. I treat it kind of like that. So I really don't – I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but as far as promoting the podcast and things, don't really have any type of blueprint on what's the right way. So in music, and any local artist that may be listening, they know once people find out that you're local, you're already judged. People already are knocking you down a little bit. They're kind of skeptical on what what you're going to bring as far as your music wise. So one thing that I always said was, when you're trying to like pass out a CD, I come from the pass out CD era. When you're passing out a CD, your first impression is that CD cover. People see, if you pass somebody a blank disc, it doesn't look like you're serious about your music. But if you pass somebody a fully packaged and album or single or whatever, but it looks as of quality of the other people. So like if my CD was laying next to a Jay-Z CD and it doesn't look like, oh, well, this person is obviously unsigned, then that, to me, that's knocking down that first barrier. So I was always huge on how do I look musically? Do I look like I can be in the same conversation with Jay-Z and them? Because then I'm past the look stage, and now it's up to my music content to keep somebody as a fan. So that's how I kind of treated the Geekset podcast. I'm like, okay, whatever we're in, like, if we're at these conventions, how can I make it seem like we're established, how like we're serious? So that way now people, they don't be like, well, who's these people with just, a computer and a mic? Now it's like, oh, these people, they have their table runner with they got all these promo items, they got their business cards, they got stickers, they got all this stuff. So you know what, they look legit. Let me see what their content's about. And even with the podcast, website or the covers, it's like, okay, we're grabbing people. I want people to be like, oh, what is this? All right, this looks legit. Let me look into it. And then it's up to us to keep their ears to listen and things of that nature.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, strongly with our musical background, like, just even clear, like, Deuces here has been doing music, what, 15 years?
Yeah.
15 years, something like. As an artist and a label owner and, CEO and everything. I've been in production and running my own record label. I did that for about 10 years. Lib has been doing production and being part of a record label. Like, we've all pretty much been in that side of business where it is pretty much like your work ethic and your work is what, it's going to make you go, that's the only way you're going to go forward.
Right.
If people got to like what you're doing. So you got to, image was always important, even in the hip hop culture. Your content had to be important. So we just pretty much took all of that and just put it into a podcast. Yeah. Like, we're still artists. We're just podcast artists. We're just, we're still talking to everybody. We still go to shows, and we're just taking all that knowledge that we've ever had and placing it in another avenue. And but we're still able to be us. It's almost like I said, it's still a producer and rapper is just talking about geek stuff. So it just makes it easier. I think it all came pretty natural. Like when we had our first recording, we didn't even have like nothing written out. We just came in. I think we just got in the booth and just drank and and talked. And just talked. And a lot of people say it was like one of their favorite. One of their favorite
real
ones.
music artist does.
Right. we pretty much. I think we really came in with the mindset of what podcasts are. Like all these people do is just talk and just drink. You know what I'm saying? And the more we got more serious with it, as far as like looking out for news, looking for geek news, stuff to pop up. Like we do a lot more communicating between ourselves throughout the week before getting ready for a podcast. That now that when we do our podcast, we have a list that we just we always talk about new content. Like we started making it more serious instead of just making it be just a bunch of guys drinking on a podcast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have an opportunity to show the culture from our eyes, from hip hop's eyes or whatever. So we take it that more serious now, and I think that's what you're seeing. Like if you're saying that you really appreciate how we're doing it is whatever, because we really are taking it serious now. Like even having our first interviews and doing like all of those happened. Like, I almost would say luck of the draw, but we definitely embraced it. You know what I'm saying? We definitely embraced it. Like this 2018 has been definitely good for Geekset. Definitely.
That is absolutely great. And you know what else has been great? This call, I am very happy I got the chance to talk to you guys. Bacardi, Deuce, it's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah. I also realize I need a much cooler nickname. That's going to be first on the docket.
Nick the Stick.
Nick the Stick. No, that's more my high school, except for the stick had a D in front of it. I am so glad I got the chance to talk to you guys. Would you like to pimp out where people can find you on social media, Twitter, Facebook, any of that good stuff, so that people can find you and your lovely content?
No problem. Yeah, man. So geeksetpodcast.com, that is our website. That's where you're going to be able to see everything, videos, merch, and everything of that nature. As far as social media, we keep it consistent. It is Geekset Podcast on every social media. So whether that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, just type in Geekset Podcast, you will find us. And as far as the podcast, we're available on every platform. Every podcast platform, you search us up, we are there. But like I said, the website is the central hub for everything.
That sounds great, guys. Thank you so much for recording with me, and thank you everyone for listening. This is Unapologetic Geek, and we're out.